Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk about the perfect fit for my comic cards as they are now and what I need to do to kind of complete my effect collection and get the desired stats that I want. Because I made a video a couple weeks ago where I showed off my latest pull and my luckiest pull, the Uncanny Avengers card, and it did add a lot of stats to my list and to my overall card pool, but there's still a lot of work to be done, believe it or not. And while my cards may seem outrageously powerful to you and you might think that you're never going to reach this stage, there's still a long way that I can go from here, and there are definitely many players that have better cards than I do. So I asked you guys, and a lot of you in the comments said that you wanted to know what my next steps would be. So I basically laid out and created 3 different paths that I could take, kind of the easy or the simple route, the kind of midway route, and then the dream route, which would be if I had all the cards that I wanted, all the stats and all the rolls that I wanted perfectly done and everything, just so you can see my train of thought as I go through things and which stats I'm prioritizing, so that if you want to make minor tweaks or you want to start planning ahead for later investments in your cards, you can start to look at that now based on what you have and based on what I have and what I want to have. So first of all, let's cover what I do have. It's important to note that my collection in terms of my card effects are being affected slightly, so if I take it away you can see the true numbers. I'm just going to work with the true numbers today because it makes everything easier, and because I'm going to show you another document that doesn't have the collection effects added to it and it would be too complicated to add it in. So we're just going to work with the base card stats, ignoring whatever collections I've completed or not completed. So when you look at my stats, well, the things that I see or the things that I need to improve on. So the biggest problem with my cards right now is a lack of max HP. Max HP is useful for any kind of PvP game mode. It makes characters like Wolverine stronger, Hulk stronger, and anyone who recovers HP. So I want more of that. 10% is nice, 20% is great, 30% is premium, and then 40% is the dream. Believe it or not, there are guys rolling around with 40% max HP. Sorry, the math is going to get a little heavy here. So in addition, I can see about 5 to 8% missing on my attack speed, so I would like to put a little bit more in there. My ignore defense is a little bit high right now at 34%, and then my skill cooldown is quite high at almost 32%. So that can definitely come down at least a few points, even up to 5 or 6 or 7 points. So those are the main problems or areas for improvement that I see in my cards currently, and that I want to address with my next card change or reroll or replacement. So looking at this sheet that I've created over here, we have my base stats right now with my base cards: Loki, the Baby Spider-Man card, the all-new, all-different Avengers, Uncanny Avengers, and then the Guardians of the Galaxy Best Story Ever. So this is the first change that I want to make, which would be to replace one of my cards with the Guardians of the Galaxy card. In this case, I want to change the all-new, all-different Avengers, or rather the Loki card, not the all-new. I originally thought I wanted to change the all-new, all-different Avengers, but I actually think it would make more sense to replace this Loki Agent of Asgard card. Yes, the free-to-play card that I always said was the best in the game that everyone should have, I'm actually not planning on having. So I think once I re-roll this Guardians of the Galaxy Best Story Ever card to its optimal stats, which would be, as per the thing, skill cooldown on the 4th slot, and then energy attack and all attack or physical attack. So skill cooldown, energy attack, all attack, physical attack. Those would be the optimal stats for that card, and then if I could equip it, I would replace the Loki card. Now, just doing a straight 1-for-1 switch and losing the last days of Loki Agent of Asgard 7 quality card, it would hurt. I would lose 3% all attack, 5% ignore defense, and 6% skill cooldown, but as we talked about in my effects, I don't really need that much ignore defense or that much skill cooldown. And then on the plus side, I gain 9% HP, and this is always assuming an average roll of the card at 4 quality. So if I get 5 or 6 or 7 quality, it's even better. But it would gain me at least 9 HP, 6% energy attack, and 5% attack speed. So if you compare the card effects, you can see the difference between the two of them right there. Or actually, you can't see them, but my new stats would be, 28% ignore defense, instead of 34, which is a drop of about 6. And then you have the energy attack clocking in at 28 instead of the 22 that I have here right now. And I can actually move this over so you can compare the stats a little bit more closely, and you can see how they would change in addition to the skill cooldown dropping about 5 to 6 points. So that's kind of the easiest change that I could make, and that's the change that I'm most ready to make. I just need to reroll the Guardians card. I already have some options here that I can use to reroll. I'm just kind of saving them for a day where I can rack up like 10 and try 10 in a row, because let's be honest, I'm not going to get lucky and reroll the card that I want the very first time. But once I do that, there's definitely still more changes that I can make, because as I mentioned before, max HP is something that I want more of, and I would like some more attack speed. And while this card does give me attack speed and max HP, it's not enough. I still want more than 10% max HP. So there's actually another change that I can make. It gets a little bit more complicated now, but the biggest issue right now is this Baby Spider-Man card. While it is a 6 quality card, it's very good. I was very lucky to get it. The cooldown duration is nice, but I would perhaps prefer to have physical attack. Crit damage, I would prefer max HP, and then all defense, I would much prefer energy attack, as anyone would guess. So the next step after that would be to painfully re-roll the Baby Spider-Man card to get those preferred stats, giving me an additional 6% max HP, an additional 5% energy attack, and tweaking my stats a little bit more. But then by losing the cooldown duration for the physical attack, I'm now at a loss, and I'm at, close to 19% physical or skill cooldown, which is too low to sacrifice for just the bit of physical attack. So there's actually another option for me where I can re-roll the card, and then I can equip another different card in place of the all new, all different Avengers. So I'm also thinking of changing around this card for the unbelievable Gwenpool card number 17. It's not this one, it's the other one in the set. It's the premium one right here that has cooldown as a first option. So by losing the cooldown from the Loki card and losing the cooldown from the Baby Spider-Man card, I'm gonna need about 10% to make up to bring me back around 25%, and this card would do so while giving me the max HP that I want and other stats that I need, and it wouldn't cost me as much all attack and physical and energy attack that I would lose by unequipping or deleting, overwriting this all new, all different Avengers card. So taking a look at the effects that I have right now, these would be the effects from the second change with the unbelievable Gwenpool, the Baby Spider-Man, the Loki that I already have, the other Loki, the one from the cinematic battle, the Uncanny Avengers card that I pulled, and then the Guardians of the Galaxy best story ever. So this would be kind of the step 2 or the phase 2 of my card changes, given proper and successful rerolls, given certain stats lining up the way that I need them to in terms of what I roll. This would be what it looks like, and essentially you can see that we're at a much better option for attack speed. The all attack is nice, the energy attack is good, the ignored defense is still pretty good, and the skill cooldown is remaining at about 26%, but now we have 30% max HP, and this is kind of the sweet spot. Yes, we've unequipped a Loki card, yes, we've unequipped a Korean card, but the returns are pretty glorious. As you can see, 30% max HP would be fantastic to have, and it's potentially more if I can reroll some of those cards to 6 or 7 quality. Those two are the kind of feasible options. Getting that Gwenpool card is going to cost me a lot of crystals. That's going to be painful, but re-rolling the Guardians of the Galaxy and re-rolling the Baby Spider-Man are definitely possibilities. Those can definitely happen in the realm, even if I'm not spending crystals, even if I suddenly become free to play again and I just grind out cards through doing dimension rifts. So most of that is pretty obtainable, but I wanted to go a little bit further, and I wanted to tinker and see if I had complete control and I could choose all of the cards and all of the stats, how far we could really go with these numbers. And this is what I came up with, and it's pretty bonkers because of the numbers that I have, or the numbers that I could have. So this set ultimately would include the unbelievable Gwenpool card that I discussed, the Baby Spider-Man card, but then we'd go back and we would equip the all new, all different Avengers, so we don't want to lose that card. We would have the Uncanny Avengers, and we would have the Guardians of the Galaxy best story ever. So to recap, we would change the Loki card with Guardians of the Galaxy, the best story ever, but then we would actually unequip this card for the Unbelievable Gwenpool Premium card. And while that may seem silly to you, when you see the numbers that I came up with, it's not so silly. You've got a whopping 41% all attack. You can see the energy and physical attack are pretty insane. But then if you can look over to the corner, and I can't right now because I haven't edited this properly, but it's essentially 32% max HP, which is pretty insane. So these overall stats I find are the best. It balances attack speed, ignore defense, and skill cooldown. I think anything more than 25% skill cooldown is just too much when it comes to end level high end play, especially for PvP. So you want to find cards that can balance those things for you. Ignore defense is right around where it should be, and then you can just add 3% to all of these stats, so that 32% max HP is actually 35 once I complete the collection. The ignore defense is closer to 30, the skill cooldown is closer to 28.5, and you can see how all of these stats start shifting up. I have almost 80% energy attack with this setup. I have a very nice 70% physical attack. I really like the balance overall. Of course, the only thing missing would be crit rate and crit damage, but those are the sacrifices you make to basically have everything else. Physical attack, energy attack, HP, the works. You'll find if you look at a lot of high-end players' accounts, they actually tend to underestimate and undervalue physical attack. So you'll see some people with 15, 10% physical attack, and they stack it all on energy attack, all attack, attack speed, max HP, ignore defense, and then they have some crit rate, some crit damage, etc. While the stacking on energy attack does benefit something like Extreme Alliance Battle and Alliance Tournament more, because the vast majority of the top end characters all use energy attack instead of physical attack. Quicksilver and Wolverine are the only two that don't. I really like physical attack. I love physical attacking characters in Marvel Future Fight, so I've always overvalued physical attack, and that's why I've been so hesitant for the longest time to even change my Loki card, because it gives me that 20% additional physical attack proc. I know it's not the best option, and I'm realizing now that I'm gonna have to make some tough choices, but I just wanted to share that with you in case you do go and compare my ideas and my stats to some of the high-end players that you might be looking out for through character rankings. They're going to undervalue physical attack. I just personally really like it because of how many cool characters use physical attack and not energy attack, and also it's kind of a hipster thing to do. So let me know what you guys think of my energy attack breakdown and the card setup and my goals, if you think they're all attainable or if you think I'm nuts and I should just be happy with what I have. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.